everyone, how are we doing? Woo, I'm gonna hear double on my voice. I was getting that all fixed up. That was craziness. There he is. Good to see you there, Working Bird. Thank you so much, everybody. Sorry for all the... So what happened was, in the last video, I had to edit out a tiny bit. I had to edit 20 seconds. Because of that, the previous video got set to private. So then the new video of that stream, over more great eyes, crazy day. The old video is now a video of it, and then the previous video was private. And then when I remade this stream using the settings, it privated this stream. So everyone was like, the video's private. So I was like, oh no, why? I got up here and I was ready to go, and then I was like, no. I look at my messages and everyone's like, it's all broken, nothing's working. But what does everyone think? How is everyone doing? Send the link to your friends. Be like, dude, it's happening. Get out of here. Let's do this. Let's study together. Let's get some work going. I figured I'd stay here a little bit longer today to get some work done. Who's ready to learn? Who's ready to morb in? We got to morb in. We didn't get hit with copyright claims for morbing. Don't worry. Never get for those. Is everyone having a good day? Luke, good to see you there. Javante, good to see you there. Everybody. There is class. There's always class. There's always class. Always, 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 always class. It's morbin time. Mighty morbin time. My hair's... I gotta get a haircut. It's getting so long. Crazy. Sarah, good to see you there. Thank you so much. Sorry about Discord. We got that sent in the Discord pretty quickly. Class tomorrow. Always class. Always class. Always class. Always class. Oh, we will review in class tomorrow. Yep. The review test links won't work. Won't open. They should work. Have people... Here's the review link right here. Good to see Anthony right there. The exam is open tomorrow from 7 to 11. The exam. Check out the announcements. Let's go check out one of those announcements right here. I sent a lot of announcements. Let's go check this out. You might be hearing the Kahoot music in the background. So let me mute the Kahoot. And then let's go check it out. Yep. I know. How are you feeling in the chat? Okay, I think I got everything ready to go. And let's go check out some announcements right here. We got this. Intramural softball. Well, you can check it out later. We got some time right here, so we're gonna get it done. But yeah, preparing for the test. Let's see here. SI review. Exam on Tuesday. Important info. Exam 3 things you should know. So does everyone see right here? Here's the exam Tuesday. Important info. You know what I could do? Well, these are... Let's take this right here. Let's take this and say, go over here to announcements and say exam tomorrow, important info. So it's the same information right here. The same information. I think everything's correct in here. There it is. You know what? We're going to take out the conflict portion. Well, leave it in. But if you're filling it out now, it's going to need to get it done. It's like 40-ish questions, something like that. 40-ish. I think everything should be correct. It's copy-pasted. So this Tuesday, right here, there's multiple choice. What does the exam look like? Danny, good question right there. What does the exam look like? Should be good on that. What does the exam look like? Oh, it's not all multiple choice question. What does the exam look like? The exam looks like the what? The exam looks like the what? Canvas content. Exam looks like Canvas content. So if you go to a Canvas content right here, you will get an idea of what the exam looks like. If we go to Canvas content right here, so the exam always looks like, will the exam be more, it'll be like the Canvas contents. Canvas contents are your best way to know what the exam looks like. So it's not like it will be the Canvas content, but like here we see which vegetable had the highest selling price is definitely broccoli. If you want to analyze data with outliers, you should look at the outliers and figure out what's going on. You should exclude the outliers, but discuss them. That's better. And here you see some contingency tables. So it's not a multiple choice. There's true, false. There's numeric entry. There's written questions on exam 2 and 3. Does that make sense? Any other general questions? No, you're not cooked. You got this. Don't be cooked. Cook the test. Like 40-ish, around there, 40-ish questions. Are the questions similar to the... There can be questions taken directly. Also, the Kahoot has good idea. They're similar-esque. Yeah, you get some contingency tables. I think the Canvas contents are a great example of what the tests look like. 90 minutes. Yep. And definitely check out the announcements right here. The announcements from Stat 201, the important information about the exam. Check out the syllabus for how much each exam is worth. It's worth like 15-ish%, 15, 18, I think. Sometimes there's curse, sometimes there's not. There are practice exams. Who wants to drop for 1,000 points? The link in the chat for the practice exam. You can't retake the campus contents after they close, but you can look at the ones I do. So, no, randomize, you got this. There are, well, we have our practice test, review 1, Danny's put in the chat, and then the Canvas content are meant to be like little mini practice checkpoints. Does that make sense? Sarah's got, I'm happy to help anyone. If anyone needs help last minute studying, I'll be around the Discord. So check it out. Sarah is awesome on the Discord. Has anyone seen on the Discord? People are answering questions left and right on the Discord for each other. There's 3 exams total. 3 exams. We did that, Cassidy. We're going to do the Kahoot here, but check out today's office hours. We did a whole bunch during office hours. Today's office hours were really awesome. We did multiple, and we got 71 watching. I like it. So keep those questions coming. I'll do a few more questions. We got 71 watching. I like it. But check out the office hours right here. And with office hours, you'll see empirical rule, all this good stuff going on right here. We're doing all the empirical stuff, everything going on, all these questions. Brian's section right here. From earlier, you'll see all these questions going over chapter 6 scatter plots, all this good stuff. You can see how to do it, how to analyze these questions. Of 0 and have a strong. So does that make sense? Who follows me on that? So there we go. Is there any way to open the exam early? You need to check out the announcement and file the exam early and try to do it as soon as possible. File the exam conflict form right there. An attempt to follow was made. Any other last question? Lots of clones of Brian right now. You definitely know. Sometimes I'll do like this and I'll get an infinite loop. I have to show the video on stream to do that. I have to show the video on stream to do that. What are the most missed questions? Chapter 5 is like a really missed question. What are the most missed questions? Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is really missed. What are the most missed? You can use calculators. You can use TI calculators. Really missed. TI calculators are fine. You can use TI calculators. Any other questions? TI calculators are fine. You can use TI calculators. Any other questions? TI calculators are fine. Any other questions? Let other Brians catch up to me. All right. Oh, no, I echoed it, didn't I? Okay, sorry. Enough of that. Okay. What about my BA2 Plus? Probably, as long as it doesn't have internet capabilities, you can't use your phone. Things like that. If I'm not in your SAS class, can I still join? Unfortunately not, or you have to be a UTK student. You have to log into 6. Let's throw 5,000 points. Give some W's for 6. Maybe they're here to enjoy. You can play the Kahoot with us coming up right here. But 6, we're glad. Throw W's for 6 right in the chat. You can't join the Discord, but you can enjoy the knowledge and the fun. So throw some W's right there. W's in the chat for 6. We are glad to have you here. People coming by, checking out the class, learning about stats. That's what we do here. Let me get a 100. Get the podium. We're gonna throw a $20 Amazon gift card, or W's to everyone. And you can, if you are a Stats 1 student or a UTK student, you can join the Discord. Well, no. 6. You can join the Discord. Yeah, join the Discord. Email me if you are not in the Discord. The Discord is free. 6. Wait, no, Mubot's deleting people. I need it. 6. If you come visit me, I'll make you a mod. I need to make sure you're But 6, we're glad to have you here, 6. You are welcome here. And the Discord's open to all students right there. Mubot's a jerk.
I am sorry I picked on you, 6. Please forgive me.
Okay, good. Mubot, stop doing that. Good stuff right there. How much are each exam worth? Check out the syllabus. I think it's 15, 15, 18. Ignore Mubot if he says, I think it was the emojis. Mubot's just, he's acting up. Just ignore him. Any other last questions? This is time for last questions before the Kahoot. 687. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. So there's a joke about the 20s, like something about 20, 21, and 22. Yeah. 15, 15, 18, is it? That sounds about right. Don't sports bet. Brian's rule of life is don't sports bet. Don't sports bet. Make yourself a good drink of coffee tonight. Not too late, but do this. Go get some coffee, brew yourself some coffee. It's fantasy as long as it's not betting. I have no clue because I am not get yourself some good coffee, get yourself a shaker, put some ice in it and shake it up with some milk, honey. If you're over 21, little something. Not going to drive. Do never drink and drive. But as long as you're a little nice, if you're over 21. If just relax. Moderation is what we do here. Moderation. Over 21. My fantasy team is cooked. I got 3 out players and 1 injury reserve. I'm cooked in fantasy. I'm donezo. Oh yeah, you're talking about how many points. I have no idea. I'm cooked. Pretty cooked. Anyways, with that, who's ready to do some Kahoot right here? Is anyone ready for Kahoot? I'm over 21 in and Danny, no. Danny, no. Stop it. I have no idea what that means. Okay, let's hop in here. Oh, it's time to Kahoot. It's time to Kahoot. It's time to Kahoot. I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay, let's get Kahootin'. Oh. Someone put a meme up, and it was really good on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, join at the Discord, because the memes are pretty darn awesome. I got to give some meme of the weeks next time. Is Brian praying to the stats god that we're all going to do well? Oh, then we'll make that bigger. But I'm going to take a picture of this. I really liked this meme. This meme cracked me up. There we go right there. That was a really good meme. That was good. People cracking me up. The people memeing on me for this is someone from I think it's 475 memeing on me for walking so fast, which I do. That's they're like, I was gonna say hey to you on campus, and then you're just like, wee. So thank you so much. The Discord is amazing. If you can't find it, let us know. We want everyone to join up, have a good time. We'll get started here in 1 minute. Any last questions? I think I finally calmed down. It's been a crazy hectic day. A crazy day. I'm gonna tell you the awkward thing about me. I'm gonna give you a moment of awkwardness with Brian. Tell me, does anyone else feel this with me? I have a hard time shaking people's hands now. Like, I have a very hard time, and I feel awkward because I know people, like, they put out their hand like this, and ever since COVID, I just don't like touching people's hands. And, like, is anyone else, it's not you. It's not whoever you are. But is anyone else, like, if you meet me, you'll be like, yeah, Brian's awkward. No, Javante. Is anyone else, who feels my awkwardness? I might do a little this, and then people think I'm weird. You worry they don't want to shake yours? I used to give the best handshake. Like, my cousin Tommy, who's awesome, taught me how to shake hands. And he said, like, when you shake someone's hand, you put your hand out and you give a firm handshake, and you like 2 times or so. You just, boom, you lock like that. Good handshake. And now I'm just like, hey, how good to see ya. Oh, I'm awkward. I am low-key awkward. The elbow touch is low-key awkward. It's me right here. Everyone shakes hands, just hurts. Like, can we please tone it down? Like, 5 knuckles or mine. Just I did have someone shake my hand one time, and they like crushed my hand. I forget who it was, but someone. Oh, I should just bow. I should do that from now on. I'm partial to like Japanese culture and stuff, so let's start doing that. We're gonna do Kahoot, like small bows awkwardly. I'm gonna do that from now on. I'm good with that. Chest bump. I mean, hey, with that, we've had our fun. You know what we have to do. Everyone knows what time it is. Let's turn on the music, and everyone, okay, get ready. It's time.
Let him cook. Let him cook now.
Here we go.
Let him cook.
Here we go.
I said let him cook.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time. Let's do this. First Kahoot question. Exam 1 new review. Which of the following phrases helps us identify quantitative variables? Which of the following phrases helps us identify quantitative variables? I'll give a short, about a minute or 2 explanation after each one of these. Remember, this is recorded if you have to go, but stay till the end. And don't worry if you get things wrong, because that's just learning. So quantitative variables are what? How do you identify quantitative variables? They are actually what? All quantitative variables must be whatses. All quantitative variables must be what? It's like 26 questions. Numbers. So if something is a number, is it a quantity for certain? Yes, nice job. That's some good work right there.
Wow.
So we'll tell you some points, everything. Nice, Sarah. And if you come in first place, you get an Amazon or Starbucks gift card. Let me know. I've already given out a few, but first place only for this one. Why not first and second? Sure, why not? So if you look at some data, first and second, Amazon, Starbucks gift card, because I think one person didn't email me from the last Kahoot, so I still kind of owe one. So first and second, Starbucks gift card or Amazon, your choice, $20. So quantitative is numbers. Do you see quantitative variables in this data set? Who sees quantitative variables? Start naming them. Where are quantitative variables? Where's quantitative variables? Morbid. Weight's a quantitative variable. Height's a quantitative variable. All those are quantitative. And I don't really see ones that are not actual numbers, like, and everything, pretty much that's right, and significant other, and handedness. I think there's handedness. Those are categorical variables. Now, here's where people make mistakes. Are you ready? People make mistakes with the following. We give them this sort of data, and I want you to look at this and tell me, is this categorical or quantitative? Is this down here categorical or quantitative? Yeah. Type C or Q in the chat right now for cat or quant. I can also start a poll. Is it cat or quantitative data down below? I can't trick you. When you summarize data, categories get summed into the frequency of how often there was males and the frequency of how often there were females. Does that make sense? So this is frequencies, which are summaries of categorical data. So a frequency table found all the way up there is a summarization of categorical data. What's it called when you group it together? This is a frequency table showing us the counts of observations for each group, frequency tables. And that, Danny, great job. Everyone give Danny some W's in the chat. I'm going to pin Danny's comment. If you did 1 for girl and 2 for boy, that would not make it a quantity of boy and girl. It's still categorical. It's just aliased, we say, like it's using an alias, like I'm Stat 201 UTK. It's an alias right there if you do that. And that's not actual quantities. It's not like 1 quantity of boyness or 2 quantity of girlness. So you can use numbers for categories, but if it's categories and it's numbers, it's still categorical. How about we do another one right here? Let's do it. But first, we got the leaderboard. Elated Frog, Lucky Sea Lion, Astonishing Bobcat, Amiable Wallaby, and Mystical Octopus. Next question is, the University of Tennessee uses your student ID number like 239, that's not mine, to track you in student databases. What type of variable is this? So this is a special kind of what variable? So technically there's 2 answers, but not really. This is a special kind of what variable, which is also a test question. This is a special kind of what variable? He do be special. True. Special kind of categorical variable. A special kind of categorical variable. And it will not ever repeat because it's called an identifier. What is the point of an identifier? Because identifiers will not repeat. So an identifier, its point is to what? So think, it can't repeat, it will never repeat, because the point of it is to identify. So if it repeats, I think Keegan right there had a
Wow.
moment where you're like, wait a minute, phone numbers ish. Identifiers can never repeat. So you could technically, but a lot of times phone numbers are not a good identifier because 2 people could have the same number. Like my wife and I could put down our number, like call, like here's a contact number, and that would not be an identifier. Think about like your Tennessee license is an identifier, your social security number is an identifier, your Amazon order ID is an identifier, the license plate on your car is an identifier. Any other things that would be identifiers? I mean, technically, or your phone has a what is it? What is it? I can't think of the name of it. It's the machine ID. What is it? The Mac address, or that's internet stuff. Like the Mac or NFC tag, things like that. Zip code, not, and good answers right there. We'll throw some points. Serial numbers that might be for a warehouse. IP addresses would identify computers. So you have to think it will not ever repeat. Can never repeat. Could 2 people have the same zip code? Yes or no in the chat. Could 2 people have the same zip code could you have the same zip code? We love points. Could 2 people have the same zip code? So zip code is not an identifier. Does that make sense? Since 2 people can have the same zip code, not an identifier. Can 2 cars have the same license plate? Like, oh, you got the same license plate number as me. Can two cars have the same license plate? Can two cars have the same your bank account routing, Danny, good one. Your bank account routing number for your account is an identifier. And technically, if you want to say the bank's routing number in a set of banks would identify that bank. So yeah, it could be used again, but it would identify that one bank. But then some data sets might be weird. There could be like a list of like what things were routed to. Then that would be transaction ID. I'm going to elaborate on Danny's thing real quick. If you have a list of transactions and things were routed to different things, then the identifier would be transaction ID. But if you have a list of banks and bank accounts, then it could be identified by the routing number. Does that make sense? The routing number could be in that data set, the identifier, because it'd be like, this is the routing number to this bank, this is the routing number to this is the routing number to this. So it depends on how the data set's structured. Whatever it is, the value cannot what? Identifiers, repeat it again, if you're looking at data, they can never what? Like if we're looking at this data right here, I would know for certain this height is not an identifier. It's also quantitative because height has whatted. I would know that height is not an identifier because it can never, ever repeat. And if you see it repeat, it's definitely not an identifier. Also, it can't theoretically repeat, which means in the future, you can't have the same value. Like, you'd be like, wait, Brian, what if, I don't know why you sound like that. Wait, Brian, what if the data set looks like this and it doesn't have a repeat? Well, it could repeat. So with that in mind, let's check out the leaderboard. The leaderboard is Elated Frog, Astonishing Bobcat, Lucky Sea Lion, Mystical Octopus, and Dazzling. What is that? I don't even know. Here we go with the next question. Let's do it. A blank is a group of people or items that we want to understand. Oh, they're randomized. Well, thank you, randomized. I was trying to do an impression of randomized. I really like the cake example for this. Did anyone think of the cake example in the class? We talk about, let me go grab. So tonight. Oh, I see we're split. That's what usually happens on this question. So tonight, you go home. You know what your mom's made? Your mom has made, oh my gosh, look at this. What'd your mom make? Oh. What'd your mom make? What is this? I'm going to do each one. You got it. What kind of cake? That's red velvet cake. Oh, really? And you say, Mom, I wish to understand the red velvet cake, so I will take a what of it? No. Yay! That's a good right there. I wish to understand the red velvet cake, so I will take a sample. That's a good strawberry. White chocolate strawberries on there. So when you talk about a population, the population is what you want to understand. Does that make sense? You want to understand this whole cake. So your insight is the sample. So if you look at the question, which people got tricked on a little bit, it's all right, is a group of people or items we want to understand. That is the population, sometimes called the population of interest. Do you understand how you want to understand the cake? So you take a what? The cake is what you want to understand. The cake is the population, the thing you are interested in understanding. So your insight to make inferences into the population is the sample. Now, I really like how this is paired up because you'll see the phrase SSPP. So this is very important to memorize because sample statistics estimate population. Finish my sentence so you're following along. Sample statistics are estimates of population what's? Sample statistics are estimates of population parameter, but a sample isn't a group of the a sample is a subset. So think about when you take your slice of a cake, you are taking a subset of the population. You're taking a slice out of this cake to understand it because you're interested in the cake, and you're not going to know the full population, but you're going to have an estimate of how it tastes by tasting the sample of the cake. So when you give the tastiness rating of the cake to your mom for how her red velvet cakes are you giving a statistic or a parameter? So when you give the tastiness rating from your sample, that value, say, Mom, that's a 9 out of 10 cake. Is that tastiness rating a statistic or a parameter? That tastiness rating from your sample is a what? That tastiness rating from your sample of the cake is a what? So because you took a sample, it's a statistic. Do you see how SS, PP, that tastiness rating? So your mom would use that to understand what people might think about all her cakes that she makes. Does that make sense? That is your mom's best guess of the true parameter, which the parameter is more nebulous. It's how all her cakes are viewed by all people. Does that make sense what the parameter is? I think you will, Peter. You probably will. Good question. Thank you for asking. So the parameter is the tastiness of all cakes your mom makes for all people, which she probably will never know. She'd have to, it's the true rating for all cakes for all people, where the statistic is the rating you would have from a sample of people trying the cakes. So does sample always go with statistic? True. And parameter always go with SSPP. You got it, John, right there. Parameter is the truth for a population. So think about elections. Before elections, we had polls. Polls could be viewed as a what? Before elections, we had polls. Sarah's got some good comments right there. Polls could be viewed as taking a what? Polls could be viewed as taking a what? But the parameters are the population. Polls take a subset of the population, so polls are a sample. So since polls are a sample, they get estimates. And when we do a poll, the poll will give us a statistic saying like 48% of people are believed to. No, don't worry, Danny, we gotcha. 48% of people are believed to vote for this candidate. So on election day, we actually talk to everyone who votes, because that's actually what we're trying to estimate. We're trying to estimate for the people who vote, who will they vote for? You could say for everybody, but the truth is we're trying to figure out of the people who vote, who are they going to vote for? That's why they usually do likely voters. So on election day, we actually take the data from the what? We actually get the data from the, say the next word. On election day, we actually get the data from the what? Of interest. On election day, we get from the, on election day, we get the population. On election day, the population gives us their data and we know the parameter. We know the truth. When you look up historic values for elections, are you looking up parameters? You are, because that's the truth for what happened in that election. So parameters are truths that come from populations. Statistics are samples, or they're estimates that come from samples. Does that make sense? Who thinks they follow along what a statistic is? It's an estimate from a sample, and a parameter is a true value for a population. Like the percent of Tennessee students who are in-state is a parameter if we know the full population. If you talk to 20 of your friends and 10 of them are in-states, that would be a sample statistic. Is the population all people who can vote? It depends on how you define it. People can do like a narrow or broad definition of their population. You get to define what you're interested in, called the population of interest. So the population data shows the parameter. The population data has a parameter. Yep. If you know the data for the population, you know the parameter, and the parameters are just values like statistics are. So that's why parameters and statistics go together. They're both values, but the parameters are the value for the population. Parameters are the math for all the people. Statistics are the math for the subset. Good stuff. Very important for the idea of inferential statistics. Elated frog, astonishing bobcat, lucky sea lion, smart condor, and shimmering angelfish. Next question. How does the normal probability plot determine if a distribution is normal? Ooh, it's definitely on the Canvas contents. Who knows? How does the normal probability plot determine if it's normal? So this is the normal probability plot up there. This is a histogram down here. There are 3 ways to check to see if things are normal. Way number 1 is to look at the histogram. And how does this histogram look? How does this histogram look? Get your Monster Man ready. How's Monster Man doing today? Skewed to the right, right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. Right to the high, left to the low. Whatever way the monster... We didn't get his tooth in. There you are, Monster Man. So right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. And when we say right to the high, we're talking about the right side of the curve, which has the high numbers. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. Just check the tail. And we did pretty... I like that. We got through some points and a good old real wow right there. So the distribution follows the line. This line is a perfect normal. And you notice how this is skewed. When it's skewed, it won't follow the line. And I hate Jump does a reverse image of this. I'm actually very angry about it. But it doesn't follow my Squidward method of solving it out. Jump does it weird. We don't use Jump much anymore. But you won't have to figure skewness from a normal probability plot on the test. You do need to know if it follows the line, it's more normal. If it doesn't follow the line, it's less normal. When do we use p-values for checking normality? We use p-values for checking normality when we do a what? Oh, did I erase it? Nope, right over here. We use p-values for checking normality when what? That's the wrong one. I guess I did erase it. Goodness fit test. Can I go all the way back in time? Get right. Yes. It's going to happen. Wait. There it is. I should take a picture of it. Okay. Let me take a picture of this one. So the goodness of fit test is the bottom one. This is a whole graphic here. When you test normality, you'll look at it, and if it looks skewed to the right, the normal probability plot will have a pull away from the line. Also, the p-value will be what if it's not normal. The p-value on a goodness of fit test will be what if it's not normal. The p-value will be, which is what I've highlighted throughout here, the p-value will be what if it's not normal. The p-value will be less than 0.05, less than 0.05. Kind of, Danny, that is correct, kind of. That is a correct way of saying it. When the p-value is low on the goodness of fit test, it's less normal. Now, I do want to caveat this and check out today's office hours where we go way more in depth. There's multiple tests we do, like the test on correlation, and you can watch as we do these drawings here in office hours and talk about the different tests and go through and explain the questions. So the p-value is less than 0.05, reject the null. Isabella knows right there exactly. And I'm going to drop this other graphic into a document so I can use it maybe later. But that's a good note. These are really good notes on how to do the different tests right there. Let's jump back to the Kahoot. And please ask all those questions if you have it. Elated Frog, Smart Condor, Noah and Puffin, Astonishing Bobcat, and Crafty Walrus. Next question. Which of the following graphics can be used for univariate categorical variables? I think there might be two. There are two. Did anyone hear Marshall Erickson talking to them? Did anyone talk to Marshall Erickson for this question? Yes, Danny.
This is a...
Met her in the background. Pretty good. We're doing a lot. Actually, you know what? Since I can play the audio this semester, I think we're doing even better on these. So here it is, Marshall Erickson again. I think the audio is good.
Pie chart describing my favorite bars. And this is a bar graph describing my favorite pies.
So I want to reinforce why I show this the whole time right here. Because if you ask someone their favorite pies, that's a categorical question. If you ask them their favorite bar, that's a categorical question. Like, what's your favorite bar? You're not going to answer two. Unless there's a bar called two, but then that wouldn't be a quantity of bar. It'd be the bar two. There's probably bar two somewhere. But I think Charlie was correct. Well, no. For the last one, it was that it follows the straight line. Good question, Charlie, right there. A box plot visualizes the what? Box plots visualize the what? What does a box plot visualize? Last one was the points follow the line. Box plots visualize the 5-number summary. Box plots visualize the 5-number summary, and the 5-number summary is like the min, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the max, which are quantitative. Do you see box plots up there for quantitative? So once again, I would take this down. It's very, whoops, I was going to disappear myself. Very important, very useful, and you can see pies and bars are interchangeable along with things like Pareto's. But if the p-value is less than 0.05, that is for the goodness of fit test. I'm going to mention that, and thank you so much for asking that. I'm going to show that just briefly here again. Really good questions. I like it. There are multiple ways to test it. On the goodness of fit test, so everyone repeat this. On the goodness of fit test, we'll analyze if it's normal by checking what? On the goodness of fit test, we'll analyze if it's normal by looking at the what? On the goodness of fit test, and I see Isabella's got a good question. On the goodness of fit test, we'll analyze if it's normal by looking at the p-value. And if the p-value is less than 0.05, we will conclude not normal. And then on the normal probability plot, we see if it follows the what? On the normal probability plot, we see if it follows the what? On the normal probability plot, we see if it follows the line. And if it doesn't follow the line, it's not normal. Like this, everything I did right here is all the things you would see when it's not normal. So if it's not normal, you'll see a skewed histogram. You'll see a normal probability plot that doesn't follow the normal. And then if you watch the video, we do this like where it's a good fit. And I can't grab that now because it's a static image. But we try to put the normal on top of this, and the normal won't fit. It's not a good fit. Like you can't make the normal fit on this one. You see how that doesn't fit? But if you bring the normal over here, you can make the normal fit on this. That's where it's a good fit. I mean, it might not be perfect, but it's a pretty good fit. So you see, that's a good fit. And that's what we mean by good fit, is the normal a good fit for the distribution. And on this one, it can't fit the distribution. It like doesn't fit it. It doesn't form over it well. So this would be a bad fit down here. And I see a few more questions. I forgot, is p-value given, or we will give them on these sorts of tests? For now. Sarah's got great advice. If we reject the null and it's the p naught, Isabel, basically, my biggest suggestion is check out today's video where we go through all of this. And today's YouTube live stream, we went through it and went in really big detail. Does that sound good, Isabella? Let me throw you the link in the chat, and then we'll do more Kahoot. But today's live stream, we went in depth on that, and it will be p-values in general. Here's the time where we go over p-values. So open this video up in the background, save it for later, and we go more in depth on it. Do you think the office hours is more helpful than the Kahoot? Equally, just different learning. Little bit of insight. Sure you understand the mission of exam 1. Yes. Oh, Sarah's got great advice. Let's show Sarah 5,000 points. Doing well in the exams leads to more success. I've had people have their highest exam be exam 3, but generally, like, the knowledge builds. So you want to definitely start out early and do well. W, Sarah, right there. Really good advice. Let's check out the next leaderboard. Elated Frog, Astonishing Bobcat, Zany Mink, Knowing Puffin, and Dazzling Magpie. Next question. Which of the following graphics is bivariate categorical? Bivariate categorical. Which one would it be? So what is something you could graph bivariate categorically? What is something you would graph with bivariate categorical? And if you're looking to cheat, the answer is right here on the screen somewhere. Bottom right corner. Mosaic. What two variables? Yeah. Get help. Sarah does tutoring. So she has hours in rate. But also she's on the Discord a lot and great answers. Oh, we did really, really well on that. There's two right answers. Contingency table and mosaic plot. Exactly. And I do want to say again that, once again, Sarah does tutoring. She's on the Discord. Contact her for hours and rates and times and all that good stuff. Sarah's been doing this for a while. We also have SI, but some people want to have a personal tutor. We have SI. Jake is amazing. I'm sure I remember the other person. She's amazing too. But ask for help. Start early. A lot of great review sessions. How about this? Let's take a look at some data here. Danny, you're cracking me up. If you take a look at the data here, and the data makes a table like this, and we have pass, fail, and we have 1 week before and the night before. Don't worry. You'll be fine. It's kind of how we see the data. And we have 80 students pass here and 2 students fail here. I'm not doing A-B this time. And then these students study the night before, and 40 students pass here and 20 fail here. Does everyone see what we get? Who understands this table? There were 82 who started studying the week before, 60 who started studying the night before. There was 142 total students. What do you call these things in the margins? What do you call this down here? That is the what? What do you call that thing? I switched up my examples, Danny. This whole thing's a contingency table. That is correct. And those are the marginal displays. Great job, Ben, right there. Those are the marginal displays. So, and you see how these numbers add up. That's another marginal display, the marginal display of pass, fail. So what we would do is we'd turn this into a plot where we would have 82 is about this much, and these are the students who studied the week before, and these are the ones who studied the night before, and we put pass down here, and the pass rate of the week before would be up here, and the pass rate of the night before is going to be about here. And you notice most people pass the test, right? And when you think about this, do you see how this relates? That if somebody studied the night before, this is 60 students, you would have 20 of them failing, which is this right here, which is 1/3 of this block, versus if somebody studied the week before, which don't worry, this is just, just keep going on. This is the 2 right here. Do people think they understand how these graphics are made and that you can see down here on the bottom that more students studied the week before, the night before, which is down here on the bottom with the widths of the bottom showing you the marginal display. And then if you go within it, you would have this right here. I'm just going to highlight the only thing I'm showing. That right there is the 2 students who failed who studied the week before. It doesn't mean you will fail if you studied the week before, night before, whatever. So the top one is the contingency table, and the bottom is the mosaic plot, contingency and mosaic down here. So contingency plot and mosaic plot. There are the 2 plots. You can see them here in the bottom corner. Contingency and mosaic plot are the general 2 ones we use right there. Okie dokie. Let's go on to the next question. But leaderboard, Elated Frog, Astonishing Bobcat, Dazzle, what? Jumping up the lead. And Lucky Sea Lion, good to see you, and Knowing Puffin. Next question, find the IQR. Nice and easy. I think you got this. The IQR represents the what? The middle what? Same as the last Kahoot. 2 questions here. Some of these will be easier and we'll go faster. The middle, 50%. Great job, Ben. This data is skewed to the what? These are the things you should know, like, this data is skewed to the what? The fences are a graphical technique, which they could be. Okay, this is a good question here Charlie asked. The fences are graphical, and they are not always shown. We never really show them ever. Where is the lower fence on this data? Where's the lower fence? And it is skewed to the right. Where's the lower fence? Not at 0. It is in the negatives. Keegan is right. That is the mean. Not always shown. That's the mean. That's Q3. And that's the max. The IQR is 2 minus 0 because that's Q3 minus Q1. It is -3. Because to get it, great job, Keegan, right there. The formula is Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. And so the IQR is 2, and 1.5 times that is 3, and Q1 is 0, so 0 minus 3 is -3. That means there's an invisible fence down here that denotes where outliers begin and end. The whisker can go up to the highest point within the fence, or the lowest point. So the fences are just graphical. Who follows me on that? That the fence is just a graphical thing, which you never see. The biggest thing to know for the test tomorrow, really good question right there, is 1.5 IQRs is how far you go above and below the box. Does that make sense? 1.5, you go up 1.5 IQRs above this, and you go 1.5 IQRs below that, mathematically from Q1 and Q3, and that's where you get the invisible fence. And the invisible fence dictates how far out the whisker can go. So you can only go up to the whisker, and then things outside of that are outliers. What does it mean that there's a gap right here? What does it mean that there's a gap right there? Like the whisker didn't go there. What does that mean? So from 2 to 5 is 1.5 IQR. Correct, it is. That's why that is the invisible fence is right here too. And so there's a point right there. That's why the whisker went. There's not any values exactly. If you don't see anything, there's no values. So there is a value at 5. Like there is something at 5 because the whisker went right to it. So the invisible fence is there. Points can go up to it and like be on it. There's nothing down here at the invisible fence. And you do not see the fences though when you do the plot. Does that make sense? It's just a graphical technique to tell you where outliers begin and end. You don't see the fence. So this is also highest non-outlier. Highest non-outlier. Highest non-outlier. Great job, Hayden, right there, and everyone doing all the math. That is the highest non-outlier point. Good stuff. Next leaderboard. I'm confused about the IQR. How do you see that? Good question. The IQR is the what of the box plot. So everyone in the chat, answer the question. The IQR is the what of the box plot. So where is the IQR on a box plot? Be careful. It's the box of the box plot. So the IQR is the box of the box plot, and it starts down here at Q1, which is also the min for this one, and Q3. So it's going to be, don't worry, good practice in the chat. And think 3/4 is 75%, the 75th percentile minus the 25th percentile, which also means it's the middle 50%. So it's 75th percentile minus 25th percentile is the middle 50%. And this just has the min in the same spot because it's overlapping right there. And so the box has a length. You can look down here at the scale at the bottom. Has a length of 2. This hits at 0. This hits at 2. Length of 2. IQR is 2. Does that make sense? Maddie, 5,000 points. I hit 6,000 points. But Maddie, thank you for asking. Does that help out? Please ask any and all questions as we go through this. You're here for the review. So want everyone to see what the answers are and how to get them. Okay, you're welcome, Maddie. And let's go to leaderboard. Elated Frog, Dazzling Magpie. Woo! Uh-oh. Oh, it's a close race. Let's do this. Braun Hamster looking like Elvis. That's not good Elvis. Which of the following are true? Ooh, what do we got? We can use computers to simulate random events. Yes. Ask questions. Computers are sometimes needed to simulate complex events. Random events must be equally likely. Humans are good at generating random numbers. So, I'm going to give you 2 tasks here at the end of this. I love this question. Is winning the lottery random? Is winning the lottery random? Is winning the lottery random? Is winning the lottery random, yes or no? Not really? There might be, is it mostly random? I think winning the lottery is random. It should be random. It's, who knows? Who knows? What if I stepped in here? But if it's truly random and they got the balls around and they draw them out. So if it's random, then random events must be equally likely. Is it equally likely that you win and lose? Is it winning is random, losing is random? Is it equally likely that you win and lose? Yes or no? Capital yes or capital no in the chat. No, not like random events do not have to be equally likely. Random events do not have to be equally likely because winning the lottery is not like the same probability of winning and losing. They're not equally likely. So don't worry, you got it wrong. Good practice. Great job, Liz, right there. 30 some points for that. Humans are good at generating random numbers. I'd like, and please try to take this seriously. I know a lot of people joke around on this one. I want you to try to type 20 random numbers. I want you to make them actually random. 20 actually random. Or do this, 20 random prices when someone rings up at the grocery store. Just type some random prices that someone would get at the grocery store. And I want you to do, use some randomness in Excel. I want 20 random prices. Start typing prices. You know what's really interesting? I'm going to wait for a few more responses, but perfect, Pate. I love what Pate did right there. You know what people are usually afraid of? And this is good. Keep going. I want to see, keep going. Cassidy's really good at randomness. Cassidy, that's pretty good. Cassidy broke our streak. Up until, randomized. Of course, it's in your name. You might have done pretty well right there. Maybe. So what people usually do when you ask them to write random numbers is they usually don't put 0 in there. Usually 0 is underrepresented in randomness because people don't think of 0 being so random, especially with prices. Like you paid $10 on the dot. And we kind of notice it when we go to the store and we're like, wow, $15? And you're like, yeah, exactly. And you're like, that's weird. But of course, prices aren't completely random. A lot of things are like 79 cents, 89 cents, $2.99 or whatever. But with that in mind, we usually don't think of prices being like $20 when you go to the store to like pick up some groceries, or 120. I only had zeros because I heard you say that. A lot of people don't add zeros. That you know my game. I saw someone do a demonstration where they had some people had random numbers and some people didn't. And the person who knew how to generate randomness looked at the random numbers and picked out the ones that weren't random. I still remember that trick they used because they were looking for how many zeros there were. And they used some other tricks too. But are humans good at generating random numbers? That one didn't get that many responses. We're not good. And that's, what's very interesting? Think about this. If humans are not good at generating randomness, who makes computers? if humans are not that good at, like, we can't really be random, who makes computers? You know who makes computers. Humans are not good at being random, so humans make computers. Computers make computers now. Owls make. So if you think about it, overall, it's like computers generate what we call sometimes pseudo randomness. Pseudo randomness. There are ways with like white noise and stuff like that, like cosmic background, micro radiation, and whatever to generate better randomness. But yeah, we're pretty bad at randomness. Here we go. Elated frog, astonishing bobcat, bronze hamster. Let's do the next question. Which variable is a special case categorical variable? Nice and easy. Quick and easy one. We'll be doing the next question very soon. Easy one. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. We got this. As Gerard Way once said. Check out My Chemical Romance. Touring around the United States. Amazing band. MCR. See them live. No. Special case categorical variable is an identifier, which is unique and can never repeat. Maybe about half over, because we had a little bit of fun to start. Probably go to like 6. Then I'll go home and eat, sleep, wake up, do it all again. Test day. Next, leaderboard. Elated frog, astonishing bobcat, and classy wombat. Next question. Time plots are a special case what? We're in the easy part right now. Time plots are a special case what? Time plots are a special case what? So the only difference with a time plot, this is a multi-time plot. The only difference with a time plot is time plots are scatter plots, but they have time on the x-axis. Like you could look at the price of milk over time, the price of gas over time. So they are too quantitative, and they're special case scatter plots. But a dot plot, how many variables does a dot plot display? You can see it up there. How many variables does a dot plot display? How many variables does it displays? 1. A dot plot only displays 1. So your displays, you always want to try to draw them out just for practice. If you have a quantitative variable like height, you could show it in a histogram. You could show it in a box plot. You could show it in a stem and leaf. Sure, why not? Everybody's tall. So that's like 71 inches, 72 inches, 76, 77, 80, 85 inches. And then you could show it in a dot plot. A dot plot just has the dots. It has a number line down below too. Like, I don't know, maybe these are test scores because very, very tall if these are people. Does that make sense? No worries. Don't worry about the streak. Great job, Working Bird. W Working Bird on a streak that long. A dot plot is just a univariate quantitative display like a histogram right here. Build that streak back up. So once again, this graphic right here, really good to have. Dot plots are not scatter plots, though. I've mentioned that a lot. Astonishing Bobcat going to get their win. Yeah, a lot of people get dots and scatter plots mixed up. A scatter plot is bivariate, so it's when you have like height and weight, you get a scatter plot. Exactly. Make those mistakes here. Here we go with the leaderboard. Where'd they go? Elated frog, astonishing bobcat, bronze hamster. Here we go with the next question. Which distribution has the biggest range? Look carefully. How many people? This is the same one I did in the previous Kahoot. Scatter. Ooh, randomize. Let's go randomize some big points for that. Randomize, thank you. Scatter has 2 syllables, where dot has 1 syllable. And scatter has them scatter. I don't know. I think that works well enough. That sneaky outlier not going to get you this time. Me right now. I know, right? Everyone knows this one. But today, you didn't get tricked, a lot of you. Remember, what do you look for when you look for range? That's why I did this right here. If you look down there, you always look for, don't worry, always look for outliers. It's the same one, yeah. Always look for outliers. I've used this question for years. It's tricked people. Don't tell them I use the same Kahoots. But I've used this question for years and it tricks people. Outliers, you always got to watch for them. They drastically increase things like the range and the standard deviation. They change the mean. What are 2 quantities that outliers don't change? What are 2 quantities that outliers don't change? What are 2 things like true, false, like outliers impact this? And you'd have to say false. What are 2 things that outliers don't change? Median and IQR. Great job, Working Bird. Yep, and everyone, Charlie and everyone. So median and IQR. They could. You're probably Wilson. You're probably right on modish. It depends. Like, what do you have 3 outliers in the same spot? But yeah, they generally don't change the median IQR. I'll throw Wilson some points right there. So good answers, Wilson and everybody. Median IQR, maybe a few other things, but they don't change those things right there. Or Q1, Q3, they wouldn't change either because those are measures of, yeah. But they do change the value of correlation. Yes, great job, Cassie, right there. Some points. They do change the value of correlation. Astonishing Bobcat, Elated Frog, Classy Wombat. Next question. Here we go. 6 in the chat still. I hope you're here, 6. We're so glad to have everybody here. What is the best measure of spread for this data? Who can narrow this down to 2 answers? Maybe answer after you've answered. What is the best measure of spread for this data? You should be able to narrow it down to 2 answers. You can narrow it down twice, and then you'll get it right. Yep. Danny has the only 2 possible measures of spread. And then you have to get spread. Spread. And people is all right. Some people picked the proper measure of what? Some people did pick a correct measure, but that's not the proper measure of spread. They can be. I can do only so much with Kahoot, but that's the correct measure of center. Remember, the test looks like the Canvas contents. So Canvas contents is a really good way to view it. We have a drawing from earlier. Ooh, red velvet. Made me hungry. And there we go. So with this data, you want to look at shape, center, spread. Sorry for my ridiculously bad handwriting. Shape, center, spread over here on the right. You analyze if it's normal or not normal, median versus mean, IQR versus standard deviation. And the other one we have strength, direction from unusual feature. I feel like my handwriting is even worse lately. Sorry about that. But first thing to look at when looking at a distribution is to look at its what? The first thing you always look at is you look at its what? When looking at a histogram, first look at its shape. And since this is skewed to the right, we're going to use median for center and IQR for spread, respectively, because those are not impacted by the skewness of the distribution. Here we go. And you got it, the tail. Monster Man. Next, leaderboard elated frog. Ascension Bullcat. Great job, Lucky Sea Lion. Classy Wompat. Shimmering Angelfish. Here we go. Outliers can make a strong correlation weak. Outliers can make the slope of a negative line positive. They can make a negative positive correlation moderate. They can make a positive moderate correlation negative. They can make a negative correlation positive. They can make a positive correlation negative. They can make a moderate correlation strong. They can make a strong correlation negative. They can make a strong correlation weak. They can make a moderate correlation weak. They can make a weak correlation strong. They can make a moderate correlation strong. They can make an extremely strong correlation weak. It's frozen. Oh no. We can see Danny. Oh, you know it right there. Anything is possible. Outliers can do what to correlation? Outliers can do what to correlation? What can outliers do to correlation? What can outliers do to correlation? To correlation. Anything. Sorry, Danny. Sorry. Exactly. We don't want outliers. Good answer, Charlie, right there. Oh, man. Danny, let me know if you're in the lead or something. And Danny, were you in first? If you want to say what place you're in, Danny, let us know. Were you elated, was it? Elated was at the top? So outliers can do anything to correlation, and we don't want outliers because they'll totally... Astonishing Bobcat. Let me know how it goes. So we do not want outliers because if you have outliers, like, does anyone see an outlier right here in this data set? Do you see this point down here? That is going to make the correlation a lot weaker. So outliers can do anything to correlation, but let's look at that leaderboard. Elated Frog, Classy Wombat, Lucky Sea Lion, Astonishing Bobcat, Shimmering Angelfish. You got this. Let's see. Oh, right. Oh, Sarah. Oh, this is so cool. Here we go. Let's do this. Outliers can dramatically impact the IQR or median. Outliers can drastically impact the IQR or median. True or false? It's like he's offering Superman a watermelon. Anyone see the new Superman movie? I thought it was pretty good. Thoughts on the new Superman movie? It's no Miles Morales Spider-Man, though. Spider-Verse is peak cinema. I thought it was pretty good. No spoilers. No, Danny. Outliers do not drastically impact the median RQR. They do not impact the median RQR. That's all right, Danny. We got you here, man. Danny, we got you. I'm going to throw you some 5,000 points, Danny, for positivity. So outliers do not impact the IQR median. How about this? The average salary at your company you work for has 10 employees, including the boss, and the average salary is $1 million. Who would like to work at this company where the average salary is $1 million with 10 employees? Who would like to work at this company where the average salary is $1 million with 10 employees? Oh, man. Well, here's the thing. The boss makes $10 million. And everyone else makes 0. So if you plot this data out, think about this. Is it a fact that the average salary, you'd like the median salary, right? Because if you put the 10 people in a line, and then this person makes 10 million, does everyone see how this averages to $1 million? But the median is this person, and then the IQR is what? Someone guesstimate the IQR for me. We're just going to go, that's probably about the middle 50% of the data. So the IQR is what? Which means there's no spread to the data. I'd like the median salary at my company to be $1 million. That means 50% of people or more. And see, if the median was $1 million, then 50%, at least 50% of people or more make $1 million. Does that make sense? So if the median is that, then you'd have, and you just need to copy the numbers. So then, yeah, 50% or more. And the IQR is 0 because there's no spread. It's 0 minus 0. The middle 50% has a spread of 0. So there's no spread. Like everyone makes 0 except for the boss. Okay, let's go on. 50% make 2 million and 50% make 0. Sure. Leaderboard. Great work, everybody. Classy Wombat, Lucky Sea Lion, Shimmering Angelfish, Zesty Otter, and Elated Frog. Whoa, Elated Frog. What's going on? Here we go. Next question. What is the Q3 for this data? You got this. There's a few mistakes on this one. Q3 is the what of the what. Because there are test questions that ask you, where's Q3? Q3 is found visually by looking for the what of the what. And we do have, I don't have in-person. I only have online office hours tomorrow. Tomorrow's my class. Right side of the box. Great job, Danny, right there. It's the top of the box. Top of the morning to you. Jacksepticeye here. Is that how he talks? Top of the box right there. So the whisker. Tomorrow we will be reviewing. That is true. Yep. The whisker is the highest point that's not an outlier. That is the max, though. The max is at 8. Here we go with the next question. Shimmering Angelfish, Lucky Sea Lion, Zesty Otter, Classy Wombat, Elated Frog. Here we go. Which of the following is not a condition for calculating correlation? Who knows the 3 conditions for correlation? Whoa. Do, da, 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 da. QQ. Straight enough. I hope so, Sarah, right? QQ, straight enough. No outliers. The last condition on here is actually a condition for regression. So, as Sarah was saying earlier, the class builds. When you get to chapter 7 and 8, the last condition for doing regression is plot doesn't thicken, which means the residual plot. Yeah, everyone knows QQ, straight enough. No outliers, plot doesn't thicken. So that is, we do have class. We always have class unless we say otherwise. So always expect class. There we go. And I think it's scheduled and streamed, ready to go. You might devour the test. You got this, Briley. You got this. I will say this. Just start early. Study in those. Gotta have classic Rick and Morty. Study in those little bits. Okay. Let me just mention this briefly. Like, I always try to figure out a test question that tricks people. Like, can you find the correlation between gender and height? Can you find the correlation between gender or height? Yes or no? Can you find the correlation between gender and height? Why can't you? Why can't you? Gender is categorical. So what graphic is this? So we don't use correlation here. Correlation is not aptly applied. So you wouldn't do correlation. You could compare the medians. And you could see guys have an average height of 70 inches and women have an average height of 65 inches. Something like that. Does that make sense? you could compare them comparing the medians or means depending on the skewness of the data. But you wouldn't use correlation here because it's not two quantitative variables. Let's look at this data right here on height and weight. How do we figure out if it's straight enough? To figure out if it's straight enough, what we do is we simply try to draw a what through the data. To figure out if it's straight enough, which is the second one, straight enough, we just draw a what through the data. Now you can always add this. You might say, well, you added one of those, you draw a line. Does it follow the line well or not well? What do you think? I mean, in here, it kind of follows the line. Like, that's kind of good-ish. But then over here, not so much. Does that make sense? So that's where you'd say it's not linear enough. That's why we say QQ straight enough. So it's not well enough. I'd say this has a problem with linearity. It's curved. And then you also see it has outliers, which is a problem with the no outliers. Like, there's some outliers that break away from the bivariate relationship. The bivariate relationship. What's really cool, if you want to learn more about statistics, we go more in depth on these things where we can do analysis. And you could actually go in here and I love statistics if you can't tell, because you can actually do something like choose order and actually look at the nonlinearity of it. And you could say something like max order. Just go max order 2. Does everyone see that this model actually does have a bend if we fit a parabola through it? Great job, Danny. You got this. Study first in macro. You got this. Appreciate it. So you'll notice right here there is a bend, that the line is not properly fit through the data. Something more like a parabolic relationship might be better. We teach you that in other classes, but you just kind of look at it in Stat 2 and be like, does it follow a line really well or not? Who feels like they understand QQ, two quantitative variables? Straight enough, does it mostly follow a line? No outliers. Are there not any outliers? Any question on those? Thank you, Danny. How are we doing on those questions or those conditions? QQ, straight enough, no outliers, right there. So next question. Lucky Sea Lion, Shimmering Angelfish, Classy Wombat, Zesty Otter, and Elated Frog. Next question, let's do it. What % of track runners expected to run a time of 290 or higher? 290 is right down here. Ah, good. Thank you, Briley. 290 is... I feel like everyone's getting this one pretty quickly. Hey. Need to get a lot of sleep tonight. But there can still be outliers. Yes, you can still calculate correlation if there's outliers. And you can even calculate correlation if it's not straight enough. You have to have two quantitative variables to calculate correlation. That's why the first condition I do is QQ for two quantitative variables. You have to have two quantitative variables to calculate correlation. Let's see how people did. What empirical rule number comes to your mind when you see this? What empirical rule number comes to your mind when you see this? Does anyone have an empirical rule number? Really good. Wow. And thank you. We still have a lot of people playing the Kahoot. So it's 290 or higher. Yep. And then David got it. It's because we go in here and you go right here and this is 95 and that leaves 2.5 on either side. And then you go above it. And that's using the 95 rule for within plus or minus 2 standard deviations. So plus or minus 2 standard deviations. So minus 2, positive 2. There we go. There we go. Exactly. Thank you so much. Good practice. And thank you. Oh, I didn't even see that. Yay. Oh, Sarah, everyone, give some W's for Sarah. I didn't even catch that. 68, 95, 99.7. Sarah is exactly right. Once again, and I want to give you another huge shout out. Remember, if it's later in the semester or if it's this week and you need a tutor, Sarah is one of our #1 tutors right there. I've heard great things. One of our mods on Discord. What is that number? These are the empirical rule numbers for the percent of data within 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations. So 95% is within plus or minus 2 standard deviations. And so outside of that is 5% with 2.5 in either tail because you subtract from 100. Does that make sense, Peyton? Ask more questions if you need. But 95 is within plus or minus 2. 68 is 1. 95, 99.7. You are given these numbers on the test. So really good stuff right there. W, Sarah. Huge help and great tutor right there. Shimmering Angelfish, ooh, in the lead. Lucky Sea Lion. Did the math wrong? Yes. I think we got another one coming right up here. Let's figure out if you can get it. What percent of area on the graphic is shaded according to the empirical rule? Who's got it? Very similar question. Did anyone look at this and get this immediately? It's very similar. There's two good ways to get this. Or there's a lot of ways as I fall asleep. I bet you got it. I bet you got it, David. If you want to mention your math in the chat, let me know. So if you remember how we were doing the what else? Yeah! Oh. Top tier. Top. What am I going to label this arrow? What number am I going to put on that arrow? Who knows what number I'm going to put on that arrow? Because within plus or minus 2, what number should I put above it? What number should I put above it? 95. And then what do I do to it? How do I get the answer here, which is this shaded area? Just take 95, cut in half. And 68 would be within plus or minus 1, which is 68 within this boundary. So that's the 68, 95 divided by 2. There are other ways to get it. Two other ways to get it are going to be to add up 34 if you've cut the curve down to these portions and add those up. Another way is if you do 2.5 on the outside, subtracting that from 50%, which would get the same answer. Well, there's 16% outside of here. That's where 16% is at. And so here's a big thing. When the test starts, what does Brian suggest doing? When the test starts, did we do this in office hours just recently? When the test starts, what does Brian suggest doing? Draw the normal model. I think we did it office hours last week. When the test starts, draw the normal model. Okay, I think we did it. I thought I did it big. Let me go back here. Okay, 3 hours ago. That's not the one. We always draw really nice normal models. I thought I drew a big one. When the test starts, draw the normal model. Draw the normal curve. Draw all the numbers on it. You can't bring it to the test. Draw the numbers. We did pretty well. Also write down the equations like observation minus mean over standard deviation equals z-score. And write out what you need to know. Just put it on the paper. Here we go. Shimmering Angelfish, Lucky Sea Lion, Groovy Coyote, Dazzled Magpie, and Classy Wombat. Great job, Glowing Panda. Here we go. Stat 201 test is normally distributed with a mean of 75 and standard deviation of 5. What percent of students make above a 70? I bet you I didn't give you the curve. I did not. What is the first thing you think when you hear 70 on this? People are working away. Turn 70 into a what? I'll do some of the work here for you. Zero? Wait, what? Oh, wait. Somebody's not zero. Oh, only 38,000 voice. I was like, what? There we go. I hope we did well. What is the z-score of 70? What is the z-score of 70? What is the z-score? So you could go observation minus mean over standard deviation. What is the z-score of 70? It's -1. You can also see it down here, right here. Now, it definitely, if we're looking at above 70, it's definitely more than what? It's definitely more than 50%. So what you can do is when you look at this, you could cut this into two areas. How much is the orange area worth right now? What percent of the curve is the orange area? The orange area is how much of the curve? Well, it's from the middle over. The orange area is how much? Well, it's from where that. How much is the orange area? 50%. Great job, Quinn, right there. It's 50%. And then the blue area is half of what? The blue area is half of what? Put this number up here. The blue area is half of what? I'll write that out here, Pian. You got it. Half of 68. That makes this 34. So the answer is 84 right there. The formula for z-score is observation minus mean over standard deviation equals z-score. Right there. There's the formula for z-score right there. Observation, which is y, minus mean, which is mu, divided by standard deviation, which is sigma. Observation minus mean over standard deviation. Great job. And thank you, everyone, for asking. Keep asking these questions. Observation minus mean over standard deviation. Observation is 70 minus mean of 75 over standard deviation. And drawing it out helps too. Hey, we did pretty good on this. I'm very proud. Let's check out the next leaderboard. Shimmering Angelfish, Lucky Sea Lion, Classy Wombat, Dazzled Magpie, and Zisty Otter. Here we go with the next question. You're welcome, Ben. I appreciate you, Ben. Thank you so much. Just some practice right here. Let's do this. 68.95. You got it. You got it. And it is given to you on the test. Nice and easy. This is a break question. This is like just relax. Sorry if you get it wrong. Oh, man. I'm gonna go home, eat some dinner. Oh. Crazy day. Big day. Go home, answer emails. I don't think I'm gonna get to play video games tonight. No, video games.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, Rock. 68, 95, 99.7. Thank you, Working Bird and everyone, and Sarah. What's for dinner? We have pasta. I should show you a picture of. I'll tell you what. We'll take a 2-second break right here so Brian can show you the pasta his wife made last night. I took a picture. It was so beautiful. You think I'm lying? I'll show you the pasta. Oh my gosh. Here's the pasta. You ready? Pasta break. Oh, you can't. There we go. Pasta break. Fresh herbs and spices. All that good stuff. We don't need no Olive Garden. That's double negatives, right? So we need Olive Garden. Let's head back to Kahoot.
Let him cook now.
We got Morbin in.
Let him cook.
Again. It was really good. Had like fresh basil, rosemary in it. We can't, and we have some pasta. Check out office hours from today because I might run out of steam right here. Check out office hours from today. We do a lot of percentile review questions in office hours today. Really good stuff. Did anyone watch today's office hours? We're going to do another Kahoot question coming right up. But anyone check out today's office hours where we did normal curve questions, drawings, and percentiles. So here we go. Office hours from today. Check it out. And tomorrow we'll probably try to do some, trying if I have meetings and stuff. But check out today's office hours. We do a lot. Okay, next question. Shimmering Angelfish, Lucky Sea Lion, Dazzle Magpie, and Zesty Otter, and Expert Bunny. You know I like bunnies. Here we go with the next question. Lightning round. Lightning round. Oh, I have to hit next. An ordinal number is a quantitative variable that has been sorted in ascending or descending order. An ordinal number is a quantitative variable. It's almost like this is a teaching to the test moment. An ordinal. Keegan's like, I hope you see it another time, Keegan. Keegan, let me know if you got it right, Keegan. And Jacqueline Mubot's going to put the link for the exam right there. Keegan, did you get this right? Oh, no. Yes. It's almost like I put this here for reasons. It's because ordinal is categorical. No, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Wait. Everyone be like, I want some yes in the chat, because you know what? Remember, I'm telling you, I'm still echoey voice. Because here's the thing. Why do you think I put a question like this on here that everybody gets wrong? Why do you think I put this question that everybody gets wrong? I want someone to like maybe say what I'm not gonna say, but I'm implying that not everyone's gonna see, but some people are gonna see it. Henry's figuring out. Not that it will be, because we use pools of questions, but it crash out today, not on the exam, worth 5,000 points. We crash out here in class, and then we morbid on the tests. Working Bird knows. Working Bird, we're glad to have you here, Working Bird. Even though, as they told me, I've heard on campus, birds aren't real. Working birds are real, though. Write this down. So ordinal is like steak preference. Who knows what I'm talking about when I say steak preference? What are, like, how you get your steak cooked? Just tell me in the chat. Oh, someone told me that they got their steak cooked Pittsburgh, and I was like, how do you know that? Because I get my steak cooked Pittsburgh. Slander. Mid-rare. Mid-rare. We say we have 3 ways to get your steak cooked. Rare, mid-rare, and somewhere else. I messed up that joke. Like our steakhouse does it 3 ways. Rare, mid-rare, and somewhere else. Get the joke. However you get your steak cooked is fine. My wife gets more of a well-done steak. I've kind of convinced her down towards... I don't even know if I could go for this mid-rare. On this scale, I'd go medium. And I don't know if my wife could handle medium well on this scale. What scale is this? That's mid-rare? That is... There's actually blue rare. Like, that is rare. 120? You might as well just hold it against a person who's running a temperature and you'll get it almost there. I don't know who's eating steaks like that. Hey, you do mu. So when you look at this, what is an ordinal variable? That's definitely still mooing. An ordinal variable is categorical and it has inherent order to it. Did everyone hear this? An ordinal variable, yeah, blue rare is insane. Exactly. Whoop. An ordinal variable is categorical and it has what to it, like these variables. An ordinal variable is categorical and it has what to it, like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Pittsburgh's awesome. We're gonna show one of those. What is oh, that one looks good. What does it have? It's an ordinal variable. Doesn't matter if it doesn't need, yeah, it's usually put in. That's not the trick part of it. The trick part of this question is it's not what. What is the false part of this? Kind of, Henry, kind of like that. Yeah, if you think about it as like, that's kind of ordinal. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior is a great ordinal one. Steak preference is a great ordinal question. Things like that. Or if you do low, medium, high, that's great ordinal. So things like that are really good ordinal. Things like that. Okay, this fillet right here is cooked perfectly in my opinion. Let me copy the image. This fillet is cooked about perfect. That's maybe a little, that's a good mid-rare right there. And that's a good Pittsburgh, like char on the outside. That is a good filet medallion right there. Like that, amazing. Okay. It's not quantitative, exactly, not quantitative. As we all get hungry, lucky sea lion, or at least I do, for us steak eaters. Zesty otter, zany mink, shimmering angelfish, lively fox. Good. Ooh, you're a fox. You have cool shades. 60. Next question. Why is it 60? Quantitative variables must be numeric. True or false? It's like that's a histogram with a goodness of fit test on it, and it looks like it fits really well. So would the p-value be high or low for this if this is the fit? What would the Fashion Society give this, a high or low p-value? Do you remember from goodness of fit test? I'm asking a side question. The goodness of fit test would come back with a what? Because that looks like a good fit. High p-value. Great job, David. High p-value for goodness of fit indicates good fit. Yep. Low p-value means evidence of non-normality. Good job. Because this was easy. Quantitative variables are numeric. They have to be because they're numbers. But it doesn't mean if you have numbers, they are quantitative. Here we go. Lucky sea lion, zesty otter, shimmering angelfish, zany minks, and lively fox 60. Didn't even know they could do numbers. A variable that consists of numbers is always quantitative. variable that consists of numbers. Like, remember Danny's example from earlier where boy was 1 and girl was 2? So that's quantity, right? Must be quantitative. Must be quantitative. It's numbers. It's numbers. There we go. Okay, very true. Nope, doesn't have to be. Last 2 questions. Here we go. Let's do it. A bar chart is a good way to visualize identifiers. Anyone want to say something in the chat with identifiers? What's the purpose of them? These are some horrid graphics. Special case categorical variables doesn't repeat, cannot, will not repeat. And the whole point of them is they're there to identify. So we usually only use identifiers to identify. We really only visualize categorical and quantity. I know identifiers are special case categorical. It'd be a weird bar chart. It'd be flat probably because it's uniform if they're all unique. So it'd be non-informative. We don't really visualize them. Good to see Jeremiah. So I think there's so many. Sometimes I see them, I'm like, is that a current past former? I'm like, sometimes we see former students. I think Jeremiah's current, right? I love seeing students. Colin swings by from Disney, but I'm like trying to remember. Things blur together. When you've been doing YouTube things for like 7 years or 6 years, 2019 is when we started. You don't really visualize identifiers. You don't really visualize them. Because what's the point of an identifier? Say it again. The point isn't to visualize it. Skydiving with Jessie? Yeah, I guess skydiving. I think you're talking about skydiving with Jessie. I think, did she graduate? She's either a senior or graduated from Kex to identify. They cannot, they will not repeat. Yeah, skydiving with Jessie's awesome. So I think she's skydove. We have a student who's skydove over 100 times now. So shout outs to our students doing cool things. We have a student who's a professional mountain biker, student who works for the Lakers now. She graduated last year, only did 3 years. Come on. I should have told her hang out more. I mean, gotta graduate. Shouts to Jessie. I'm going to hit every point button for Jessie and throw a puppet shark. No, she gets a Skeletor for that. So Skeletor for Jessie right there. Graduating in 3 years. Everyone getting a ton of points. W Jessie right there. Oh, that's awesome. So glad you got to know her and meet her. She's such an amazing, cool person. And she graduated from Kex, I think, the new college. But Jessie's absolutely awesome right there. So we spread some positivity here. And last question about the leaderboard. Will it be Lucky Sea Lion? Will it be Shimmering Angelfish, Zany Mink, Lively Fox, and Zesty Otter? You got this, Zesty. Don't be sad. Okay, let's do this. There's sometimes a good reason to remove outliers. Yes. Anyways, you can remove them. It just depends. You need to talk about them. You always give them special attention. You can do whatever you want with data, but don't just remove them because you don't like them. You don't just remove an outlier because you're like, oh, I don't like this outlier. This outlier is messing up my data. You have to make sure you talk about it. Like, you need to give full context to why you're removing the outliers. Full context. What's that? It's time for leaderboard with
Tiny Brand. Hey, buddy, I'm Tiny Brand. Woo! Let's do this. In 3rd place, Zany Mink. And in 2nd place, getting an Amazon gift card, Shimmering Something. Thank you, Working Bird, I'm Tiny Brand. And in 1st place, Lucky Sea Lion. Woo!
Oh my gosh. Top 20, nice job, Javante. It's not, but stats built upon itself, so you need a good understanding now. Build. I'll take 2nd. I still got it. Nice, Sarah. Sarah, you've earned it. Sarah, I kind of did it on a whim, giving the Amazon. Let's give a W for Sarah for helping out. I think you've earned it for all you've done. The rules, you get 2nd, you get it. And we've done a 2nd one now, so I've given out 4 Amazon gift cards. And I wonder who got 1st. Ooh. So do remember, advertisement for Sarah right here. And I think it was really close. I wish you could see. We got to claim our rewards. But you got 1st. Logan, nice job right there. You were up there with the tutors. So really good work. Shout out Sarah, putting skills to use right there. Really good work. Looks like you were super fast right there, Logan. And we're getting time travel reward. I don't know what we're doing. What? We got a time machine on the island now? Making history. Oh, we played social studies, dude. You didn't know that? There you go. Sarah's email right there. If you need help, I'll pin that. Once again, email if you have questions, if there's problems. I'm going to go home. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to relax. I might drink a soda, like an actual soda. How do you reflect? Do you think the difficulty of the questions are? They're kind of... I would say they're about... It depends, because I can't do bigger form questions. But let them dictate where you see weak points. And review these questions, because some of them are on the test. Can't promise, but with the smattering of questions I took from, either the concepts or the questions are on the test. So I tried to cover as much as we can. So with that, we will head off here. Let's see. Wait, Jason, you're welcome. Jason, what's that, Jason? What's that? We've almost got these new intros ready. We're almost there.
This has been going for like 20 hours. This ends now.